Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Look Up Podcast. I'm Chip Ulmer, and this is Tony Gudo. You can find us on YouTube under the Look Up Podcast and Facebook under his name, Tony Gudo.
Welcome back, everyone, for another wonderful week of our podcast.
Yep.
Today, we're going to talk a little bit of LSU baseball. We're going to do a recap on UFL. The UFL League is just finished the third week. They have fourth week coming up. I think they're playing 8 weeks, if I remember right. 6 or 8 weeks, I'm not sure. I'll have to look at it in a second. Anyway, and then we're going to do our 2.0 mock draft. And what we're going to do, we're going to swap. We're going to take turns. We're going to swap around. I'm going to take the odd numbers. Mm-hmm. And he's going to take the even numbers, and we're going to see how close we are when we got in our draft. Next week, what we're going to do is we're going to take the Saints draft next Wednesday when we do our podcast. Draft is next Thursday, a week from tomorrow, so we're getting close. We're going to do next Wednesday, we're going to do a mock draft. We're going to act like the Saints, and we're going to let all the other teams pick until our pick, and then we'll make our picks, and we'll try to go through the whole draft and see how we do. See how the Saints end up with, and see compared to what they really do on Thursday night. All right. Right now, let's talk about LSU baseball real quick. LSU baseball not looking too good. Got swept this past weekend by Ole Miss. First game was 6-3 on Friday night.
Yep.
The second game,
10 run on game 2.
A 10 run on them on Saturday, 12-2. And then Sunday it was 7-0. And the Tigers came out in the 7th inning and scored 7 runs. 7 runs in one inning. However, Ole Miss came out and scored another run, and they won 8-7. So Tigers lost that series. And then last night they played Northwestern of Louisiana and played a tough game. Northwestern hung in there for a long time, but LSU ended up winning that game 4-2. With some pretty good pitching. They did real good on the pitching side. He brought a lot of pitchers in. He tried a lot of pitchers while in that game, I guess, because it was a midweek game. Trying to get ready for the SEC this weekend. At the box, Texas A&M. Texas A&M real good. Texas A&M won 27 games. Real good baseball team. The only chance we have is they're playing in the box. That could give us a big advantage. We've been on the road the last 2 weekends, the last 2 series. So let's hope LSU does well this coming weekend. If you get the chance to go, the weather's supposed to be real good from what I understand. It might be a little chilly. I heard maybe a cold front might be coming through again. Probably the last one for the year. Anyway, let's move on to the UFL. Anybody been watching the UFL? I'm not sure. I've been watching it. I watched 2 games last week. Let me give you some advice on this. Last Friday, the Orlando Storm played the Louisville Kings, and Louisville Kings lost 27-29. Close game. Orlando came back and won that game. And on Saturday, the Houston Gamblers and the DC Defenders. I'm a big fan of DC. I've been watching them since last year. They really put a hurting on Houston, 45-7. I don't know about the Gamblers. I don't know what's going on. They had a decent team last year. I'm not sure what's going on this year. Houston's quarterback is Tua's little brother. Tua, what is his name? Tria? Anyway, Tria, whatever his name is. I don't know how to forget. Talia, whatever his name is. But he is the quarterback for them. So maybe that's the problem. Maybe he's not getting it done. Looked like he threw for 171 yards and an interception. The other game, I watched this one, the Columbus Aviators. The Columbus Aviators have had a tough time so far this year. They haven't won a game yet. They played the Dallas Renegades. I like the Dallas Renegades. I like their coach, Rick. What's his name?
For what?
Neuheisel. Rick Neuheisel.
Yeah, that's who it is.
Slipped my mind. Anyway, he's a Dallas the Dallas coach. They won last week. It was a closer game. Columbus hung in there, 28-23. Dallas won that game. I watched that game. The last game of the weekend was St. Louis Battlehawks hosting the Birmingham Stallions, and the Battlehawks pulled that off 34-30. Their quarterback is Harrison Foss. I'm not sure who that guy is. Hakeem Butler, 4 receptions for 148 yards. Matt Corral, some people might remember him. I think he played for the Patriots at one time.
Who?
Matt Corral. I think he played for the Patriots.
Let's look it up.
But he had two interceptions. That probably would what cost them the game. So it lost 34-30.
Oh,
This week, let's see what's going on this week. Week 4. All right, Thursday night, it's the Louisville Kings versus the Houston Gamblers at Houston.
Gamblers.
On Friday night, Dallas and Columbus play again, a rematch, but this time they play in Columbus rather than in Dallas. The St. Louis Battlehawks are playing the DC Defenders. That should be the best game. That's on Sunday at 11:30. More than likely, I think it might be on ABC. Last Sunday, both games were on ABC. So it's ABC, FS1, or ESPN, whichever way you want to look at it. And then Saturday night or Saturday afternoon is the Orlando Storm playing the Birmingham Stallions. Okay, so anyway, that's the recap for that game, for that league. We'll talk about them as time goes by. And next week, we'll talk about them again. And we'll give you 2 picks for tonight. Remember, if you make any bets, what do?
Only bet what you can afford to lose.
I'm picking 2 games tonight in the play-in matchups, the NBA play-in matchups. Who won the game last night?
Let's talk about it.
Phoenix, right?
So, there was 2 play-in tournament games last night. There was a thriller, an OT thriller between the Hornets and the Heat. Now, the Heat were winning by 3. Hornets came down, shot a 3, sent it to overtime. Heat took a 1-point lead with a few seconds to go in overtime. Hornets get the ball, give it into LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball drives, lays it up. Hornets take the lead, and there was no time left on the clock for Miami to answer, and Hornets move on.
So they move on to the playoffs. Okay.
I think.
And the other game, what was that? That was Phoenix.
Then the Trailblazers, Portland, beat the Phoenix Suns.
So the Phoenix Suns are out.
I think
All right, tonight's games, there's 2 up.
there's the Magic and the 76ers again.
I like Philly. I like Philly
Yeah.
minus 1.5. They only give it up 1.5. That's a good bet. I think Philly wins that game.
And then at 9 o'clock, there's Warriors-Clippers, which should be a good game.
Clippers are a 4.5-point favorite. I kind of like the Clippers to cover against Golden State. So that's the 2 bets I'm making tonight.
Golden State's been dealing with injuries all year.
Yeah, so we'll see. But that's the 2 games I like. Like I said, if you feel like making a wager, go ahead and make it, but make it with only what you can afford.
And then playoffs start on Saturday.
Once these play-ins are over, everything gets started. Okay, now we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the Look It Up 2.0 NFL mock draft. And we're going to swap around this week. I'm going to start with the first pick, and we're going to go with what? Las Vegas Raiders on the clock. And the Las Vegas Raiders with the number 1 pick. I hope they do something different. I hope they surprise. I hope they shock the world. And take a defensive guy.
No, that's not happening.
But I think they're going to take Mendoza. So Mendoza, quarterback out of Indianapolis. All right, next.
With the second pick in the mock draft, I have the New York Jets selecting David Bailey.
Linebacker David Bailey. He's linebacker, right?
Linebacker and edge.
Yeah, he plays both. Linebacker, he's a good player. He's going to go up there. He's going to go to the top 3 or 4 for sure.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to take him up there. So, all right, let's go. Move on. Arizona's next. Oh, we might have a surprise pick here. I think I'm going to have a surprise pick here. I like Arizona right here. I like them where they've fallen. And no, they need weapons. They need weapons all the way around.
Do.
You know, who's their quarterback? The guy from last year that was playing behind
Jacoby Brissett.
Jacoby. He needs somebody to throw the ball to. But you know what he really needs? He really needs a running back. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen?
Huh?
What's going to happen in this pick? Arizona's on the clock.
Already played it.
At number 3, the Arizona Cardinals select running back Jeremiah Love out of Notre Dame.
Wow.
Woo! Good pick.
Good pick.
Tennessee's coming up.
With the 4th pick in the mock draft, I have the Tennessee Titans. They need
I took your guy.
Who's the quarterback?
I took the guy.
Cam Ward.
Cam Ward.
I was going to pick Jeremiah Love.
I figured.
But they also need someone for Cam Ward to throw to. So I'm going to take Cardell Tate.
Cardell Tate. Out of what?
Ohio State.
Ohio State University. Good pick. Good pick. I need to take him off, but I have him on one of my teams. All right. Next. It's the New York Giants, the big boys, the big blues out of what? New York City. At number 5, the New York Giants select safety, Caleb Downs, out of Ohio State.
That's a good pick right there, buddy boy.
All right,
Okay.
move on to Cleveland.
Here we go. With the 6th pick in the mock draft, the Cleveland Browns select Reuben Baines Jr.
Ooh, Reuben Baines. Oh, and guess who's still on the board? Reuben Baines. Reuben Baines is what? A linebacker, right? Or defensive end? Defensive end. He's an edge. Where's he from? Oh, he's from Miami.
Miami.
Oh, and Washington's on the clock. Oh, man. Washington needs a receiver. Washington needs a receiver. They need a receiver. Washington's going to take wide receiver at the 7th pick. They're going to take Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State.
I think that's a little early.
It might be a little early, but I think he's in the top 10. So I'm going to take him there. And then it comes up. What comes up? The Saints are coming up. Oh, you know who's available? You know who's available?
Yes, I do know who's available.
You know?
With the 8th pick in the mock draft, I have the New Orleans Saints taking Sonny Styles.
Oh,
linebacker.
Sonny Styles. You know who's still available? Oh, think about it. Who's available? Think about it. Oh, Kansas City is on the clock. They gotta make a change here. Kansas City was going to take Tyson. Oh, he got picked. Kansas City is going to take Masan Dalon, but Elvell Reese is still on the board. So guess what? Since the Saints didn't take him, we're going to take him right here. Linebacker Elvell Reese.
Wow, good pick.
Out of what? OSU. Ohio State University. He fell down. Now Cincinnati is on the clock.
Now, since you took Reese, I thought,
no,
and you didn't take him, so the Cincinnati Bengals select
quarterback.
Mansour Delane.
Mansour Delane. Yep, that's a good pick. Mansour Delane to learn. That's who I had, I think, last week, if I remember right, from LSU. Okay, and Miami's up. Oh, Miami's up. Miami needs everybody.
They need him.
Miami don't even have a quarterback. They really don't have much running back. They got rid of most of their receivers.
Man.
But so I guess what I'm going to do there, they got to start with what? They got to start with the offensive line, right? So they're going to take the best tackle on the board. Miami's taken at number 11, offensive tackle Francis Migoa out of Miami.
Wow.
As their pick.
Good pick.
All right, here we go. Dallas Cowboys.
With the 12th pick, I have the Dallas Cowboys. You last week, I think you took Ty Simpson last week?
Let's see who I took. I took Orville Terrell, the corner out of Clemson.
Ooh. Of Dallas?
Yeah. They need a corner.
12. I have the Dallas Cowboys taking Peter Woods.
Peter Woods, the linebacker?
I think so.
Linebacker, Peter Woods. That's early for him. A little early for
It's
him.
a little early, but they
Where's
needed.
he from? Where's Peter Woods from?
Dallas needs a linebacker.
Yeah, Sonny Styles is gone, so.
Yep.
Yep.
Let's look it up.
Peter Woods, he's from,
Peter Woods is from Clemson, I think.
He might be. All right.
Yeah, Peter Woods is from Clemson.
Okay, so I think that's a little bit of a reach for Dallas. But the word on the street is that Dallas is going to try to trade up. Dallas is trying to trade up to number 6 with Cleveland.
But I think
Last
Dallas
thing I saw today.
I think Dallas takes Simpson or that.
I think if they move up to Cleveland, they will take who? Who I said? Sonny Styles. They're going to take Sonny Styles if Dallas moves up to Cleveland spot. That's the rumor on the street. Okay, right now the next pick is the Los Angeles Rams. At number 13, the Los Angeles Rams, they're going to take a receiver because, we never know what's going on with Puka. Puka got some problems. I don't know if they say he's in rehab. I'm not sure what kind of rehab he's in, but he's in some type of rehab. And, they will take a receiver if they can. So what they're doing, they're going to take the receiver out of USC. Makia Lemon goes to the Rams. Took you, man? All right, next is Baltimore.
Wow. All right, give me a moment.
Look, this one's still available right here.
Can't see who that is.
Cooper. He's a receiver.
Cooper.
So Baltimore is on the clock. What we doing?
You know what? I'm going to take a better one. 14th pick, Baltimore Ravens need a lot of things. Now, instead of a receiver, I'm going to take an offensive lineman.
Spencer?
Keldrick Falk.
Keldrick Falk.
Keldrick Falk.
Keldrick Falk. Oh, that's the one from Auburn, right?
Yes.
Auburn guy. Yeah, that might be a little early for him too because Spencer Fano's still available from Utah.
Yeah.
So they could take him, but it depends on what teams like. Some people like one guy, some people like the other guy. Falk is moving up the line. He's been moving up. Tight end, okay. Tampa Bay at number 15. I'm making my final pick for the day. What's that? Final pick for the day. What am I doing? At number 15, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They decide to take a tight end. The best tight end in the draft, Kenyon Yassid out of Oregon. Yassid, whatever his name is.
Sadiq.
Out of Oregon. He's going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the final pick of today's draft, we're doing 16 is all we're doing.
Yup. Hold up. Ooh, that's crazy. That's who I'm going to pick. With the 16th pick, the New York Jets have traded.
Can't trade.
They already traded.
No, that's already there.
They traded Indiana with the Sauce Gardner trade early in the season.
That's how they
So
got that.
New York Jets are 16th. And they will have a second pick in the draft in the first round.
So I had two.
And they will be taking Zachariah Branch out of Georgia. They need a receiver.
Zachariah Branch, wide receiver. That's a good pick, I think. I think that's a good pick from Georgia. He's a good.
Yep.
I think it might be a little too early for Branch, but it's hard to tell. It depends what the individual teams like. It always depends what the individual teams like. Let's look at this week versus last week. Last week, with the Raiders, we both took Mendoza. This week, last week I took David Bailey. This week, you took David Bailey with the Jets. Arizona, last week you took Reuben Baines. And this week I took Jordan Love. Last week in Tennessee, you took Jeremiah Love. I said Jordan, Jeremiah. And Tennessee, and this week you took, Cornell Tate as a receiver. Last week at number 5, Chael, you took Sonny Styles to go to New York Giants, and I took Caleb Downs this week. Cleveland. Last week I took the offensive lineman Freeling out of Georgia. Oh, he's still available. Nobody took him. Freeling. And you took Reuben Baines out of Miami. The 7th pick, Washington. Last week you took Cornell Tate. This week I took Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State because Cornell Tate was gone. At number 8. Right? Yeah, 8. At 8, last week, the Saints. I took Caleb Downs. This week, you took Sonny Styles. Kansas City.
I did take
Kansas City. Last week, I took Makia Lemon. This week, you took...
Last week.
No, I took.
You did Kansas City last week.
I took Evel Reese out of Ohio State. Last week with Cincinnati, I took Kason DeLone. This week, you took Kason DeLone.
And circling.
Number 11. Last week, you took Francis Mioa, the offensive tackle out of Miami. This week, I took the same guy. Last week, Dallas, I took quarterback Avion Terrell out of Clemson. You took linebacker Peter Woods out of Clemson. At 13, last week, you took the defensive tackle Caden Proctor out of Alabama. For the Rams, this week I took a receiver, Michael Limson. Number 14, last week I took Spencer Fano, the offensive tackle out of Utah. You took offensive tackle Kevin Falk out of Auburn. So we both agree it's going to be offensive tackle. We just don't know which one. And number 15, last week you took Peter Woods for Tampa Bay. This week I took a tight end, Sadiq, whatever, out of Oregon. And the last pick, last week I took quarterback Ty Simpson for the Jets. And this week you took Branch, the Georgia wide receiver. Not bad. Pretty good draft. I think both of them were pretty good drafts. We did all right. We did a lot of studying. A lot of people go involved in this. A lot of people do mock drafts. If you haven't done one, you can go online and do a mock draft. You can go to NFL, find an NFL mock draft simulator. You can go almost anywhere and find a mock draft simulator. What we're going to do next week, we're going to talk about LSU baseball like we did earlier today. We're going to talk about the UFL. But next week, it's going to be the day before the draft. What we're going to do is we're going to do an actual round one draft. We're going to start at the beginning and go through every team. We're going to let the computer make the picks, except for the Saints. We'll get to the Saints picks. We're going to look at it, and we're going to make a decision and make a pick at number 8. And we'll go down to the second, third, fourth. We're going to go all the way. I don't know if we'll go all the way through. We'll probably stop around the 4th or 5th round. But that's what we're going to do next week. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please let everybody know that we're doing this. Most people are very interested. What they like about it is that we give them a recap of what happened in sports over the last few days. Not a lot of detail, but something that maybe they miss. Some people miss it. Some people don't get a chance. They don't have the time to do it. So if you're looking for anything, you can't find anything, what do you do?
You look it up.
All right, go Tigers.
Who dat?
Get ready for the draft next week. See y'all next week.
Go Tigers. Who
Please
dat?
share.
Get ready for the draft. Thank you
y'all.
for watching. Come back next week. Comment, share, like, subscribe, and bye-bye.